And now, let's meet a little bit deeper with the mushrooms, the birds, and the crystals, and learn more about their consciousness, about their spirit. So mushrooms themselves, is being said that they are here in this planet from the beginning. And probably they are the one that brought life into this planet, the life as we know it. They say that they are the creators of nature. In what way? Like it's being said scientifically also that in the beginning in this planet it was like water and rocks. And then somehow the mycelium came here, the mushrooms came here, and they transformed the rock into soil. And that's how soil was made. And then they cooperated with the algae from the sea, and they brought the algae in the land, and that's how the plant kingdom was born. And actually the mycelium is very, very useful, and everywhere under the ground there is mycelium. If the mycelium is not there, there cannot be any tree, any flower, any plant. And the mycelium network is connecting. The mycelium network, first of all, is connected with each other, but it also connects all the trees, all the plants. It has its own network. It's like an underground internet that is connecting everything in this planet. So they are so useful, and they are masters of the underground, let's say, masters of the unconscious. They are those elements that is utilizing what is in the unconscious, in the unseen, into the underworld, in order to help life to manifest. So they are the supporters of life. They are the base of life, the mushrooms. And they are so useful for life itself. And many of them, they are the cleaners of nature. They are cleaning nature. They are absorbing everything that's not useful in nature, everything that died. They're transforming it and utilizing it in order for life to be born again. So there is such a beautiful support that's coming from mushrooms, and they know how to transform the shadow. They know how to utilize the shadow, and within us they help us to transform the shadow self. They help us to create a very healthy unconscious space for our spirit in order to bloom. So with that we can understand how useful they are in nature itself, but also when we use them in the form of the transcendental mushroom essences, when we use their energy in order to help us to transform our shadow and light. Because we all have our shadow side. And with the help of the mushrooms, with the consciousness of the mushrooms, we can learn how to utilize our shadow side, how to heal our shadow side, how to become a more whole being, how to stop being afraid of the shadow side. Because anyway, what we consider shadow, at some point it was a healthy aspect of our being, that at some point of life it got traumatized and ended up being into the shadow realm, considered as something bad, as something dark. So it's very, very useful to use the mushrooms in order to transform the shadow side and bring all of our being into life. And they can really help us to support our spirit in order to bloom and to come fully in life. Their connection with the bird element, with the energy of the birds, is so useful, because the birds, as beings of the sky, they carry with them the knowledge of the higher realms, of the higher dimensions. And they help us to connect with these higher dimensions of ourselves. to really remember our divine origin, to be connected with our higher expression. So we can remember it, so we can bring it in life, so we can become aware of our light as we walk our human experience. So together, the connection with the light aspects of our being and with the shadow side of our being, in itself, it brings such a deep alignment, because we all have the light side and we all have the shadow side. We cannot ignore any of them. We need to embrace both of them together in order to become a more whole being, a more integrated being. And with the crystals, when the crystals come in, they can really help us to ground our light, because they can absorb light, and they can help us to become a crystal-like clear carrier of light. When the light is coming from above and we are connected with our higher dimension of our being, then through the crystal we can ground it into our being, we can hold it into our being, we can create a stable ground for our light to be grounded into our being, so we can contain it, we can hold it really deeply into our being. And also the crystal will have its own qualities, its own properties, and will also clean from our energy spaces, from our energy being, anything that's not needed anymore. All kind of negative energies will be removed. And then, when we hold deeply our light through the crystal, we can face through our light the shadow side of our being, and we can be able to embrace it much more gracefully, rather than rejecting it, embracing it and bringing this deep, deep harmony. And when we are really grounded into our being and we are able to experience and to hold into our presence simultaneously our light and our shadow, what does that mean? It means we are something bigger than that. Because from the moment that we can hold at the same time our shadow and our light, it means that the one that is being aware of the shadow and of the light is something bigger than that, is something that's beyond that. So in this sense, in this way, we can really, really transform, embrace and transcend the shadow and the light, and become a more whole and integrated being. And that's how transcendental mushroom essences help us in this way. That's how they are so useful in our time. Because now it is a time in our planet that as the planet is raising its frequency and the light is becoming more strong, it is revealing also everything that was held into the shadow. Collectively in this planet and also individually at every human being, the shadows are being revealed, the shadows of our inner self, and we need to learn how to embrace them, how to transform them. Because when we don't do it, then we are being carried with these shadows. Then anger rises and we throw the anger to somebody else. Then all kind of negative feelings rises through the shadow selves. All kind of traumas can come into the surface and we don't know how to deal with them. And through these essences we can transform them. Through the mushrooms and the birds and the crystal, we can learn how to transform them, how to embrace them, how to transcend this, and how to live our life as a more whole and integrated being. So again, let's become more aware of what's happening in this planet right now. Let's learn to embrace our shadow and our light. Let's become a more whole being. And let's live our life as an integrated, awakened being. In the next chapter of this course, we are going to meet with the beautiful and graceful consciousness of the butterflies. We are going to learn about their gifts and what they have come to offer us through Diamond Age essences. What is the message that they are bringing, and how we can utilize their beautiful gifts for our transformation. See you there.